Hello, everyone. My name is Dr. Sim Covington, and I currently serve as the Chief Diversity Officer here at Finger Lakes Community College. First and foremost, I want to take the time to say thank you all for joining me today. When the request came to do this video, I was very excited because I think about my experience, excuse me, being a college student and what made me choose to become a part of the SUNY system. So I am a proud graduate, a proud four-time graduate of the University of Albany, State University of New York. And my experience in college was extremely positive. And one of the things I'm going to talk about today is what I do around diversity, equity, inclusion here at Finger Lakes Community College, and some of the things that will be important for you to consider when you start thinking about college selection. Okay, so I'm going to take the time to share my video. Give me 1 second. Like this. Okay. So, very quickly in regards to diversity, equity, inclusion. Let me get back here. Okay. So in regards to the work that I do for Finger Lakes Community College, in addition to working with FLCC, I have had serving in this role the luxury of partnering with some other institutions around the country, as well as some organizations within our community, which has been a wonderful learning opportunity for me as the Chief Diversity Officer, but also an opportunity to bring some great things back to us as a campus community. Just some information once again about myself. Proud product of the University of Albany, State University of New York. In addition to that, I completed my MBA at SUNY Polytechnic Institute, and my doctoral degree was at Northeastern University in Boston, Massachusetts. Very quickly, one of the things that we have here at Finger Lakes Community College, we have what's called a Presidential Diversity Council. And this council is made up of internal stakeholders who help the college move forward in regards to creating an inclusive environment. So when I talk about the words diversity, equity, inclusion, some of you may be thinking to yourself, but what exactly is he referring to? So I'm going to take the moment here to define how we explore or define these strategies here at FLCC. So let's first start with diversity. Diversity can be broadly defined to include all aspects of human difference. We at FLCC emphasize those differences arising from systematic social injustice. This would include, but not limited to, age, ethnicity and race, gender, gender expression and identity, language, learning preference, mental and physical ability, national origin, religion, sexual orientation, socioeconomic status, and status as a veteran. Next, we have equity. Equity would be, FLCC defines equity as institutional efforts to ensure equal opportunity and access to resources essential for the full involvement and development of all stakeholders. Addressing equity necessitates identifying inequalities and deliberately supporting marginalized groups by removing any affiliated obstacles. In regards to marginalized groups, for those of you who may not be aware, marginalized groups are going to be any group that has historically been on the end of injustice in the United States. So typically that's going to be relevant to the categories that I address in diversity, whether that's race, age, sexual orientation, gender, etc. And in regards to those categories, that's referred to as social identity, which I'm going to get to a little bit later. So last but not least, we have inclusion. FLCC defines inclusion as the creation of a welcoming environment that supports the full contribution of all stakeholders. Sincere inclusion provides an opportunity for genuine participation and an accurate sense of belonging that fosters discourse and networks among individuals and groups. So one of the things that I would always encourage students to think about when they're considering a college or university is whether or not they can actually bring their authentic selves to the table. Let me share a quick example. When I went to the University of Albany, there were several students there who were one way at college, but very differently when they went back to their family of origin. Being originally from New York City, I relocated upstate for the beginning of my undergraduate and graduate education. And some campuses do not necessarily allow students to be themselves. So one of the things that you would want to do when you're going to visit campuses is to get a pulse of how do they support individuals who are like you? Do you see yourself within the institutional fabric? Do you have a voice? What type of clubs, organizations, support mechanisms do they have set up for individuals who operate or come from a background similar to your own? So I have a paper in front of me, and the paper I have a variety of things that I think is important for students to consider when they're selecting colleges and universities. So the first thing I have is, once again, just to repeat, whether or not you can bring your real and authentic self, not a representative, not who other individuals expect you to be, but your real authentic self. Next, I have safety. Are you going to feel safe on campus? Does the campus have things in place to make sure that they are building on and fostering a sense of community amongst individuals from all walks of life? Do you feel validated versus dismissed? So validation means when I'm sharing what my lived experience is, people are hearing me, they see me, and they're also providing support based on what my lived experience is. That also reinforces equity, which is to meet people where they're at, okay? Something that we have here at FLCC, we have an Alana student organization. Alana stands for African American, Latino, Asian, and Native American. So that's one of our students groups, which talks about different things from individuals coming from those backgrounds, as they also put on cultural-based programs to support individuals who are coming from those backgrounds. I do want to very quickly note that Alana programs and Alana membership is open to everyone. In addition to that, we have a PRISM student organization. PRISM is the LGBTQ plus organization that we have here at FLCC. PRISM does a variety of programs, including LGBTQ plus definitions, mental health that may be impacting individuals who are part of the LGBTQ plus community. Here at FLCC, we have a variety of faculty and staff who include their pronoun in their email signatures. We have programs to teach faculty how to support individuals from all walks of life. Last but not least, the PRISM student organization has also accompanied me to the SUNY Pride Conference, and they have also participated and gone to the SUNY Student Diversity and Leadership Conference. So just some things that we have here as an organization. In addition to those organizations, we've also had an organization here called DOC, called Disciples of Christ, and we have organizations to support individuals from all religious backgrounds. Last but not least, if we do not have it at FLCC, our Office of Student Life can help you create it. So we can't become more inclusive than that, right? So if we don't have it in place, we are more than happy to help you create it. Under our Office of Student Life, we also have what's called our student government or student corporation, which is the pinnacle of the student leadership here for the FLCC campus. They do a great job, one, fostering inclusion for the campus community and putting on programs throughout the academic year based on the student expectations and to meet student needs. Something else that I want to talk about very quickly is that we also have something here called Phi Theta Kappa, which is the International 2-Year College Honor Society. I am the current advisor for Phi Theta Kappa, and every year since we've had Phi Theta Kappa under my leadership, I'm very happy to say that our students have received all New York academic awards. So just some great things that we're doing here as an institution to support diversity, equity, and inclusion. So very quickly, going back to the slides here, in regards to definitions, diversity, difference, equity, justice, even-handedness, and inclusion is valued input, intentional support. Whose story are we telling as an institution? Who's telling the story and who's missing from the story? These things are important to us here at FLCC, and we practice intentional steps in order to make sure that students feel included here as a campus community. As I mentioned earlier, different demographics, age, race, gender identity, etc. This is referred to as a person's social identity. That's a sense of who they are based on the group that they belong to. Here I have information in regards to identities to consider. But as we're thinking about these identities to consider, we also have to take into consideration that there's certain aspects of a person's social identity that are visible, and there are certain aspects that are invisible. So very quickly on this slide here, I have what's considered visible traits as well as invisible traits, okay? So all of these things I'm sharing with you right now to say that at Finger Lakes Community College, these are things that we value, and these are things that you need to consider when you're looking at a college or university. We are categorized as a predominantly white institution. With that being said, or a PWI, With that being said, in our support for diversity, equity, inclusion, we are intentional about bringing students, faculty, and staff here from different backgrounds to support our student body. We have students here from Syracuse, Rochester, New York City, and other urban metropolitan cities, and they are, one, coming to FLCC, and they're enjoying their experience here. We have a EOP program, or the Education Opportunity Program, which is also a great way for students to think about pursuing one of the institutions within the State University of New York. Next, when we think about the different social identities that I mentioned earlier, the overlap, I'm just going to do this, of those social identities is going to be referred to as your intersectionality, okay? That's pretty much what that means. I do have the definition here if you want to pause the presentation just for a little bit more clarity. So here you see that we have been very involved in social justice in the Canandaigua, New York area, the Finger Lakes region, right? And we have been making huge progress to support the community around diversity, equity, inclusion, both internally and externally. Very quickly, I want to share my story. So I think you can see over my shoulder here, that's me playing sports back in the day in high school, originally from Brooklyn, New York. But me taking the time to dive into diversity, equity, and inclusion head on has been very important and an opportunity for me to grow both personally and professionally. Growing up in New York City, I did not grow up on a farm, but coming upstate, I had the opportunity to get exposure to different things, which opened doors and led to a very promising career. My career with the State University of New York has allowed me to travel to different areas throughout the United States, has allowed opportunities for professional development relevant to my career at top colleges and universities all across the United States, to include Harvard, Yale, Cornell, Notre Dame, University of Vermont, things along University of Pittsburgh, UPenn, University of Southern California. All of these doors have been opened to me because I was working at an inclusive institution which created opportunities for professional development. So I just want to share these pictures. One of the pictures you see, I'm actually milking a cow, me with the horse, tractor, bulldozer in one of these pictures. And then you see me with the antlers because one of my students in the psychology course that I teach would go hunting and then would come back to class to share his story. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen very quickly and come back to the big screen and just want to say to all of you, thank you very much for taking the time to listen to this video. I highly encourage all of you to think about where you're at now, where you want to be, and to consider these factors as you're considering diversity, equity, and inclusion in the institution that you select to attend. We hope you choose Finger Lakes Community College. We have a lot to offer, including great academic programs, but we want you to come here to be yourself and to see yourself within our institutional fabric. Thanks.